It's an interesting story. The short story is I have a background in genetic engineering and a background in design. And I had the idea that if you put those two together, you could productize biology and create new types of companies the world hadn't really seen before. I shared that vision with a man named Sean O'Sullivan, whom I met in China. And he's a remarkable guy that's built several businesses and started a venture capital fund out of his family office. And so he had built HAX, which is the world's first hardware accelerator. And I saw that we could do something very similar for biology. So I proposed it to him. And he agreed with me that it was an interesting idea. And so I shortly thereafter joined SOSV to build IndieBio. So SOSV was founded, over 20 years ago when Sean started investing out of his family office in companies. He's a remarkable investor that took the proceeds from his first company, which is about $7 million, and turned that into over $400 million. When I met him, he was then starting to deploy that around this idea of early vertical accelerators. That allows you, by being early and vertical in the pre-seed stage, it allows you to create networks that other people can't compete with, and it allows you to create a platform where really, really talented people that want to contribute to the world can convene around. And so IndieBio was my version of that for biology. The first IndieBio fund had a budget of about $26 million. And the next one, which we just started deploying out of, has a budget of about $50 million. It's a good question, a really important question, actually. And I'm going to answer it in a different way than I think I would have before. But I was thinking about this, the Valley, we talk a lot about, everyone talks about money and who's making what, and how much money does someone get on an exit, or why are you starting that company to be a founder? And we just talk about it a lot. And for me, becoming a venture capitalist was actually much less about any money that could be made, but much more about the idea that inspiring people to do something that they didn't know that they could do, or didn't think they could do, or needed help with in some small way, is far more valuable in the long term than creating some net amount of wealth for your bank account, because the impact is much broader. And so for me, just that very basic fundamental of working with others to do something that was audacious was the real impetus for becoming a VC. And then choosing the area of biology and using biotechnology to solve planetary health problems and human health problems, I think, is the other part that makes it really easy for me to wake up in the morning. I'm not running around the Valley looking for the latest, deal that I think is, everyone wants to be in. I'm running around the Valley trying to help really, really talented and some of the best scientists in the world become scientist entrepreneurs. That's an interesting question. I mean, so I'm putting the idea of inspiration into my life every day because that's what I do for a living. I'm behind the companies. I'm not in front of them. I'm behind the innovation. I don't come up with the innovations. My job is to support others and not have any spotlight per se, right? And it's really important that it stay that way, because it's when you are looking for those things as a VC, I think you're making the wrong decisions. So I'm very fortunate that I get to inspire others with things that that they may not know right away, but they quickly pick up on. And then they can go on and inspire others with what they're actually trying to do in the world, like change the food supply chain to not include cows and animals, so we could feed more of the world with healthier proteins, right? To solving problems around cancer and human disease and things like that. So and everything in between. That's my true inspiration. But like when you said mantra, it was kind of funny. I was like, what would be the one mantra if you boil it all down that I live by? And it's something I actually say to my 2 little girls all the time. I don't say this, but we live it, me and my wife, as designers. And it would be create more than you consume. That's it.